Alrighty guys, we're back for some Mossy Jund, and this is a Wilds of Eldraine standard brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do got that Discord link as well as that relatively new Patreon link down in the description if you're interested in joining either of those up. Okay, what do we got packed into the build here? A whole bunch of new cards to go over. Mosswood Dreadknight, kind of sort of what the deck is based around, which reminds me, this was a suggestion down in the comments to put together a list that utilizes Mosswood Dreadknight. So this is the list I came up with. I hope you enjoy. So this is a 2 mana, 3/2, Rock and Trample. Nice. When it dies, you may cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn. What's the adventure on here? It's Dread Whispers, 2 mana sorcery speed, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Okay. Now you could totally play this out in whatever order you want. You could totally go adventure first, and then of course it exiles itself and you can cast it as the creature side of it. So you could play the Mosswood Dreadknight, then when Dreadknight dies, you can rinse and repeat all you want, right? Or you could just play it down as the creature first, which if it's early game, I'm sure that's what you end up doing. If it's late game, I bet the Dread Whispers is what you end up doing more, but really depends, man. It's all situational. Pretty cool 2-drop, man. I love it. Now this deck is also based around Braids, which isn't a new one. We just don't get to see it too often, I guess. So this is a 3 mana, 3/3 legendary creature, rocking all 4 of them though, because it's going to be very key in this deck. So at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with it. For each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. Beautiful card, guys. This is going to be absolutely excellent with cards that actually care about dying, or just we have a bunch of ways just to get extra things onto the board to utilize with that Braids. All this extra card draw off of just these 2 cards alone could be excellent in here, right? Let's go over the rest of the new cards, and then we'll go over the rest of the deck after all the new cards. So we have Hopeless Nightmare here at the front of the build. It's a 1 mana enchantment. When it ETBs, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. Okay. When this is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you scry 2. So this is a terrific card to sacrifice to that Braids, right? Because not only will you get that scry, but if the opponent doesn't sacrifice an enchantment, then you also get that draw after you get that scry. So very cool combo between the Braids and the Hopeless Nightmare. We also have Spiteful Hexmage in here, all 4 of them. So 1 mana, 3/2. Oh, when it ETBs though, you create a cursed roll token attached to target creature you control. That cursed roll is an aura, an enchanted creature, has base power and toughness 1/1. Okay, worst comes to worst, you just play this out as a 1 mana 1/1 kind of sorta, and it just has that extra curse token. You can use that curse token, you can sacrifice that to Braids, that's totally fine. Or you can attach it to a creature that already has base power and toughness 1/1, and that's totally fine too. So I love how Hexmage here pairs beautifully with Questing Druid. It's a 2 mana 1/1, and whenever you cast a spell that's white, blue, black, or red, put a +1/+1 counter on Questing Druid. So you could totally play Hexmage out while you have the Druid on the board. Put the curse on the Druid. Its base power is already a 1/1. Druid's getting those +1/+1 counters, so it's getting buffed well above the curse token anyways. So I really like how this pairs up with the Hexmage. Also on the Questing Druid though, there is an adventure side of things, and I know I called it Jund, but realistically it's like Golgari splash of red, and we're splashing the red in here for 2 cards, and one of them is the adventure side of Questing Druid. This is Seek the Beast. It's a 2 mana instant speed adventure. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until your next end step. You may play those cards. Okay, so that's why it's instant speed then, right? Because if you activate this on your turn, you only got that turn to play it, which that would realistically only come into play in like the late mid game or just like the late game in general, being able to have a lot of open mana to play those cards anyways, right? Outside of that, you're going to want to play this on the opponent's turn. In this deck in particular, you're probably just playing this out as the creature more often than not, but you never know. Seeing cards off the top could be really, really good. So more new cards here. Royal Treatment is a 1 mana instant speed. We have 2 of them in here. Target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. Create a Royal Roll token attached to that creature. And then the Royal Roll token is an aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has Ward 1. Nice. So if we look at the roll token ability here on the side, it says if a creature has more than one roll controlled by the same player attached to it, all but the most recent one is put into the graveyard. So that is also going to work well with that Hexmage. So if you put that royal roll on a cursed Hexmage, or for that matter, anything that already has the cursed token on it, right? It replaces it with the royal roll, which is, it could actually really be good, right? If you do have this out as a 1-mana 1/1, and you eventually use that royal treatment on it, it'll be a 4/3, and it gets to keep that royal roll too. So it'll be a 4/3 with ward all of a sudden. That's a pretty cool combo, honestly. Okay, we got more new cards in here, man. Lord Skitter Sewer King is a 3-mana, 3/3 legendary creature. It's a rat noble, heck yeah. Whenever another rat enters the battlefield under your control, exile up to one target card from an opponent's graveyard. So that could come in handy. You never know when you're going to go up against a Reanimator build. Decks that we see all the time, like Mono Red, also care about having things in the grave, you know, picking up a Squee, picking up a Phoenix Chick, taking out like a Lightning Strike so they can't drop the Bloodthirsty Adversary and bring it back later on. Like, bringing things out of the grave happens to be decent. For this build in particular, though, this is also in here for that bottom ability. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, you create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. So just more ways to get more on the board so we have things to sacrifice to the Braids. Nice. Love it. More new cards. Virtue of Persistence we're going to drop here in the 2-drop spot because of that adventure side here. The Lochthwain Scorn is a 2-mana sorcery adventure. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. You gain 2 life. Nice. Pretty good. Now, the Virtue of Persistence side is a 7-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Yeah, I think we might be able to squeeze more than one of these in here, but in this deck in particular, I don't know how often we actually get to 7 mana anyways, and yeah, the removal side of this happens to be good. I really like the life gain on there. I think that life gain is going to come in handy very often. It's also sorcery speed, so we can't do things like keep the Seek the Beast open at the same time as the Virtue of Persistence and stuff like that. Honestly, your choice of spot removal totally works here. It could be a go for the throat. That should be all the new cards outside of the mana base. So speaking of choice spot removal, I'm opting for a couple cut downs in here. I think it's going to do a little bit more than a card like Go for the Throat, but hey, your choice spot removal, totally fine. You want to drop the 2 cut downs and the Virtue, go up 3, Go for the Throats, go for it. I think that would technically work out. I think we're also seeing a lot more artifact creatures right now, or at least I am, so this is what I opted for this time around, huh? So what else do we got in here, guys? Fatal Grudge is the other card we're splashing red for. We don't get to see it too often, and I guess we could call it a little bit janky, but in this deck in particular, I think it's going to be decent. So for 2 mana, sorcery speed, as an additional cost to cast a spell, you sacrifice a non-land permanent. Nice. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control that shares a card type with its... they control that shares a card type with the sacrificed permanent and sacrifices it. Beautiful. So it's not like they may sacrifice it or whatever, like the Braids. If you sacrifice a creature, the opponent has to sacrifice a creature too. So that could be good, right? And then the bottom ability, draw a card. Yeah, not bad, dude. So worst comes to worst, I'll tell you what, if we're up against like Selesnya enchantments, in this deck in particular, this could really pick apart Selesnya enchantments, because we could go turn 1 Hopeless Nightmare and turn 2 Fateful Grudge and have them sacrifice an enchantment right out the gate, or one of their enchantment creatures or something, and we get that draw cards too. Now, if you guys can't tell, there are going to be a lot of ways in this deck to keep our hand nice and stocked up. A lot of ways to draw, from the Mosswood Dreadknight to the Braids to the Fatal Grudge drawing us, seeing cards off the top with the Seek the Beast. Simple things like that, man. Lots of ways to keep our hand nice and stocked up. And so Sheoldred on the top end is going to be excellent. All 3 of them. Well, we got 3 of them in here. It is a legendary creature. Do we want 4? Is it that important? Probably not. I think 3 is right where we want it. Is that everything? No, I skipped over Tenacious Underdog, guys. So just another creature that we wouldn't necessarily mind sacrificing to something like a Fatal Grudge or a Braids, right? Because eventually we can cast this from the grave with the blitz cost, which could be really good too. And since it also says casting from the grave, that also works with like Questing Druid, because it's whenever you cast a spell. So that's pretty cool. There's like so many little synergies in here that I just know I'm missing. We're gonna have to like see it in action, because there's a lot going on, lots packed in here. Mana base, guys. I thought about the mana base for a little bit too long. I think I landed on something here. We're opting for not too many pain lands, right? So we got like early green, early black mixed with the splash of red there. We got more early green and early black, but unfortunately it's got to be the pain land because we don't have the fancy pants early dual land for Golgari right now. We got some late game dual land too, because I think in this deck in particular, the dual land's going to be very important. Very, very greedy mana base, especially with like the Fatal Grudge being Rakdos colors and whatnot. So also, Restless Cottage is another new one, huh? Enters tapped, unfortunately. Taps for Golgari colors for 2, a black and a green. Becomes a 4/4 black-green horror creature until end of turn. It's still a land, and whenever it attacks, you create a food token, which is awesome because, again, we can use that for, like, Fatal Grudge or Braids or whatever, right? Who Endures, Abandoned Mire, single swamp. Hopefully our one basic in here is going to be good enough. We don't see too many cards that makes us grab basics out of the deck anyways. We should be fine with the single swamp, right? Bunch of honorable mentions, guys, but mainly since we're just splashing the red in here, we didn't have a lot of these. But yeah, cards that say bargain on them could be pretty cool in here, but no Torch the Tower this time. Like I said, splash a red. Same thing with Charming Scoundrel. I think this could be an excellent addition in here. Blood Tithe Harvester honestly seems a little silly to not have this in here. Same thing, dude. We're just trying to splash the red, and what would we cut for this? Like Tenacious Underdog or something, and then we're getting even more greedy for the mana base, so thought about Decadent Dragon. Don't worry, guys, we'll get around to playing this soon enough, right? No Crucible of Defiance this time. It also might be a little silly because generating those spirits and being able to sacrifice those spirits could come in handy, but the mana base is just so greedy. I had to opt for just more dual land at that point. Back for Seconds, more bargain cards could be really cool, man. Vran feels like it would be a perfect fit for this. Honorable mention for a reason. Same concept with Jadar. I do think Lord Skitter is much better than Jadar, though. So even though Jadar is 2 mana, I think we're just getting a lot more value by paying that extra mana for the Lord Skitter and playing with new cards, right? Okay, guys, this one took me forever to go over, and I feel like I barely scratched the surface. So let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. Okay, guys, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. Heck yeah, we do. What am I expecting from the build? Bro, I have no idea. As long as we get the mana properly, like the mana that we need, I think we'll be fine. For the most part. It actually might even be powerful if we get, well, like our 3 colors that we need to see. If you like Seek the Beast, could help us find the green source. Everything else can be cast. This might actually be keepable, guys. We got plenty of green sources in the mana. Tenacious Underdog. Yeah, I think this was totally fine to keep here. Okay, no Spells Pierce from the opponent. I don't even think that would be worthwhile to Spell Pierce, honestly. Depends what you think you're up against at that point. Sky Strike Officer. Ooh. Up against some soldiers, maybe? I mean, not maybe, probably. Thalia. Ew. That makes the Questing Druid Adventure 3. So there goes that for the turn. At least we drew the Tenacious Underdog last turn. It's pretty good, man. Braids the turn after. Hopefully we don't see nothing but green cards off the top for the rest of the game, right? That would be bad. Brutal Cathar this turn isn't terrible because maybe the Braids gets a chance to survive. Valiant Veteran. Okay. Chump, but I think we take the 3 for the turn. There we go, there we go. We found our green source. That's good news. Now the question is, do we go right into the Braids and start the ball rolling there? Based on what they have open, I think it's yes. As much as I really, really don't want that to get picked up by a Brutal Cathar. Keep a blocker back. I am gonna keep a chump blocker back. No, no, no. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I should have swung with this before playing the Braids, honestly, but I think we might actually be able to outpace this. Down to 13. Sheoldred is terrific, dude. Second Braids. We have the 4th mana already in hand. Second Braids isn't terrible. I'm gonna send it, though. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, but if they Brutal Cathar our Braids, just like playing Sheoldred next turn is going to be the thing outside of like a second Braids. Yeah, there's Brutal Cathar. That's fine. That's fine. Swing for 5. Down to 12. Copperline Gorge is a tapped land right now. Questing Druid just not doing too much this game right now. It's going to be Sheoldred. Second Brutal Cathar, like worst case scenario, easily, dude. Now the question is, do we still think we can push this damage through? And again, I got really hasty there, slamming my creatures before combat. I shouldn't have done that. Because there's a chance that we could have just cheesed this damage through, based on them thinking we had something anyways. And with the 1 mana open, I don't know what it could have been to like protect the Cathar with a block, but either way, I think it would have been better to swing before the Sheoldred. Down to 8, they pass it back. Back up to 14. Play our tapped land here. Lord Skitter isn't bad. These 1/1 rats can't block though, so that's definitely something to think about. This is fine. Is it just gonna be Questing Druid into Tenacious Underdog? That gets a counter too. So much value, guys. Seriously. Seriously, dudes. These cards have so much value. Switches back today because I played 2 cards though. What have I done? So they're gonna pick up the Sheoldred, unfortunately. Crap. I shouldn't have played 2 cards, dude. I always do that with day and night. Hopefully we find some removal for that Cathar because that'll be disgusting when we do. I think better number 2. Oh, buddy. Oh, Arbin. They pass it. Crap. Our cut down doesn't hit the Cathar. Harbin ends the game next turn with a full swing. Alright. Alright, guys. Removal up the top, but cut down doesn't even hit the Valiant Veteran. Oh no. Oh no, guys. So even if we ended up keeping the Sheoldred and keeping a couple cards back, the Harbin was going to wrap this up if we didn't see some form of removal at some point, right? It's wild how simple a Brutal Cathar can be to lean the game towards them. So a full swing here. So Harbin needs 5 or more to attack. They have 5 on the board. Yeah, we needed some form of removal, and I guess the Virtue could have taken out one of the veterans. That would have been like best case there. Okay. So we full swing. And the first strike blocks really well into the 4/4, and then the 4/4 blocks an underdog, and then they can take 3. Yep. The reason we full swing is because Harbin ends the game next turn anyways, so like we could attempt it and see where they block. Good game, opponent. The game, dude. Soldier still looks nasty. I'm actually really satisfied with how our deck played out. A lot of value. I should have known the Cathar was going to come down on the Braids immediately. Maybe keeping that second Braids on top would have been a little bit better than whatever else we saw for that game. It's also one of those things where I never pack enough removal into my builds too, so maybe going down a couple different things. Fateful Push, dude, I don't remember the name of the card that we splashed in here. Maybe we'll see it here. I was going to go to the decks and check it out, but I mean, we'll draw it eventually. It's Fateful Push, right? Or something like that. Fatal Push? Oh my goodness. That tells you how often we see that card. But that could have been good. We could have sacrificed a Tenacious Underdog. We would have gotten the draw there. If I would have kept it on daytime, we would have gained life from Sheoldred. opponent goes first, unfortunately, but this is, like, not a bad hand at all. I'm going to double down on 2 1-drops next turn and get the Restless Cottage down tapped, since it comes down tapped no matter what. Oh, except our fast land isn't a black source here, so... Oh, there we go. Hey, never punished, right? Pestilent Siphoner, okay. Let's see what they end up discarding. Hexmage gonna target itself, and we have a lot of land in hand, dude. Oh, buddy. Braids off the top would be gross. Land off the top would be terrible. Yeah, Braids would be like, oh, best draw. Although up against potentially mono black means a lot of spot removal, right? Could be, I guess, Phyrexian mono black, right? Swing, get the toxic ball rolling. Rats, let's go. Let's see how many rats they hit with this. Oh no, they didn't hit any. That makes me a little sad, honestly. I would have loved to see more rats piling into their hand. Speaking of rats, yeah. Lord Skitter's fine. It's not bad. We'll do this before combat. We're not swinging with the Hexmage anyways, but... Start picking up cards out of their grave. No attacks. Yeah, simple things like using that Fatal Push, if that's even the name of that card, to get rid of the curse and then also get a chance to draw a card off of it too, seems really good, especially once the Sheoldred lands on the board successfully. Looks like they don't want to take the trade with the Rat King and the Sewer King. Keeping protection open for Sheoldred could be excellent. Oh, maybe that's what we do. We wait a turn to keep the protection open. I'm gonna do that, guys. In the meantime, I'm probably just gonna scry 2 off the Hopeless Nightmare. See, I don't know if that's actually good to wait, but like, I feel like it's fine. I think we're gonna keep back everything for now. I think that trade is in their favor. I think Lord Skitter providing us value every turn's a little bit better here. And so we'll get the scry on the Hopeless Nightmare on their turn then, and just keep 4 open in hand. Anoint with it Affliction. Should I save it? Exile it, huh? Okay. I'll save the Lord Skitter. I will. I think having the Hopeless Nightmare scry is still totally fine. We might even be able to find another royal treatment off the top, right? And now it has like that ward on it too, so... Yep, I think that was totally fine to save the Lord Skitter. It's like I said, it was providing us with a lot of value already, so... We'll just see if they have instant removal for our Sheoldred when we play it. Braids, yep. Get that land out of here, we don't want to see that. I'm going for that Braids, dude. Over the Sheoldred too, probably. Because we'll get the curse off of that and start drawing, which is going to be more important than not drawing here, right? This Death Touch is a little bit of a pain, but overall... Yeah, let's get the Braids down. Because again, if they have more spot removal in hand, them removing Braids and having us play Sheoldred in this late mid-game is going to be excellent, dude. So I like the Braids play. Okay, get that out of the grave, just in case. No great attacks yet, I would say. Like, if we swing here, they just take the 1. Nothing really significant happens. So, no attacks. I guess worst case scenario would be like a board wipe, but it doesn't look like the style of deck that runs a board wipe, so... First roll. Very nice. More land. Ew, at least we can cycle this. Vraska's Fall. Okay. Sorry, little rat buddy. Oh no. I feel so bad. Poor little rat. Yeah, we have 4 toxic. We have to be careful, man. This could get bad really fast. Seed Core. activate the Seed Core 3-2. Might as well get some more damage through, but realistically, the Toxic is what we gotta be afraid of here. They held us down. Oh, more land, dude. Ew. See, the life gain on the Sheoldred isn't even gonna help too much. We can't cycle this out and play Sheoldred for the turn either. Okay. Sheoldred. Yeah, flooding a little bit this game, but we're fine. Gonna be drawing. I will play the Blackcleave Cliffs and keep the Proving Ground. At this point, are we gonna go fast enough, or are they gonna get those 5 poison through in time? Don't want to swing with this. This is not a bad trade. Now that we're gonna die soon, this isn't a bad trade. See what they end up doing here. We still have a rat back too to sacrifice to Braids. We only have 1 card in hand. I think this full swing's worth it. Okay. Death touches out of here. They're taking 4 down to 12. And then they're taking another 2 from Sheoldred. See if they sacrifice a creature. I really doubt it. Back up to 16. Like I said, it don't matter. Fatal Grudge. That's what it's called. Haha. Sorry, guys. I'm being silly. They took the 2 from the Braids, too. So now we're plugging damage through. Down to 8. I liked that full swing. I think that was totally fine. Fatal Grudge is a really good draw. Losing the Sewer King might not be the best thing, though, because we also lost the permanent on it, too. Vraska. Which one do they hit here, I wonder? Sheoldred, yeah. It is a treasure, which is not great because we are really flooding, man. Really flooding. We're going to start with... This is a 4-4 if we power up the Restless Cottage. Power up the Cottage, full swing, probably force a block. And play Wastes and still have Fatal Grudge open, right? And then we can sacrifice the food token to the Braids. I think that's fine. All swing at the opponent's face. We gotta do that damage now. We could gain life off the food too. Okay, nice. Very nice. So what was going to end up happening there, guys? Oh yeah, we had lethal for sure. They block the Restless Cottage, and then they don't have an artifact to sacrifice to the Braids, and they're taking 7 here, and then they take another 2 from the Braids. So it's 9 damage total that turn. Which honestly, I should have counted that up before the swing, but you know, hey, math is for blockers sometimes. We had the line of play if we didn't have the lethal damage. I was going to go for the whole Fatal Grudge thing and get rid of one of their creatures too, so it was looking great for us. We really just piled on the value. I think that's kind of sort of what the deck is supposed to do. I liked our protection on the Sewer King. I think that worked out really nicely for us, keeping that card around for a little while longer, generating rats and whatnot. Good game, opponent. The Vraska was super scary, but at that point we plugged enough damage through to just keep on swinging at their face instead of focus on the Vraska. So the one black source here is a little concerning when we have so many cards that require double. We'll give it a shot. I like the Fatal Grudge with the Hopeless Nightmare, just letting us draw and scry. Start with the Copperline Gorge. You never know if we're gonna like end up flooding out again and seeing a lot more of these lands that like to be played early. On that note, if we went Wastes and then saw another open black source this turn, then we could have doubled down on Hopeless Nightmare, which probably would have been, I guess, a little bit better, right? So yeah, it was probably Wastes for turn 1. That way we had the chance to play 2 of these if we saw an open black mana off the top. Yeah, dude, Fatal Grudge with the Hopeless Nightmare is so cool too. Scry 2, draw a card for 2 mana. Not bad. I know we gotta sacrifice the Nightmare too, but still. Okie dokies. Mono red. Cemetery Gatekeeper. Okay. We don't have many instants in here, luckily, so... Well, Tenacious Underdog's fine. I think we're just gonna go Fatal Grudge, scry 2, draw a card, see if we see a black source, and then play Nightmare number 2. Fatal Grudge number 1, so maybe we should just play Underdog. Okay, I'll just play Underdog. This game, the mana base might be incredibly detrimental too, so we'll see. Oh, they grabbed the land. I missed that. I missed that completely. I wasn't even watching it do damage to my face either, so... Yikes. They pick up the Underdog immediately. They're swinging at that invasion. Okay, Mosswood Dreadknight. There we go. Again, it might not do too much. The first strike on Gatekeeper looking excellent. Not having double black. Maybe this was a mulligan, guys. Maybe. We're in trouble. They're going to flip this invasion. We needed that creature for the Fatal Grudge. Okay. Scry 2, draw. We're taking damage from the Gatekeeper when we do see the land. Oh, it's another pain land too. Hey, Braids is good. But we're gonna die, huh? Oh, we are so gonna die. You know what? I'm gonna go... Okay, never mind. I was gonna say I'm gonna go for the draw, but no. Let's just get that Dreadknight down, because we can always play... out the adventure side later on. Yeah, Mono Red's gonna pick this hand apart for sure. Down to 14. Strangle. And then the Dreadknight ability kicks in. Really cool. They're gonna flip that invasion. They're going for the Foundry too, getting 3 to the face. Bro. The invasion flipping is brutal. Down to 8. Braids off the top is totally fine, but we're taking way too much damage here. Oh, actually, it's not really that fine because we still can't do 2 things because of that greedy mana base, right? I guess that's that, huh? I think we died already. Let's just activate the Mosswood Dreadknight ability. The adventure side. Hey! Proving Ground. See, that would have been really good early on. Taking all that extra damage. A little bit too much, though. Thundermont deals 2 when it swings as well. Good game opponent. I'll tell you what, like the Gatekeeper edition, like a lot. So, nice edition opponent. It's actually kind of sort of an underplayed red card, huh? The first strike really comes in handy a lot against a lot of builds, right? Like soldiers, everything. A lot of different builds. That first strike is excellent, and they picked that land early too. How'd they get that land into the grave? What was I missing there? What am I missing, guys? Did we? Oh, Hopeless Nightmare. They discarded the land. that was really good, opponent. That was a good grab. Yeah, since we had them discard, we took a lot of extra damage from that Gatekeeper. Oh, dude, let's keep going, huh? Same thing, dude. I'll say it after every game, probably, but I feel like we got so much value in here. Realistically, yeah, the only thing holding it up is the mana base, I would say. And the Fatal Grudge not doing anything that game. We lost the creature too soon, and it was probably came down to, like, how I played it out as well. Alright, Proving Ground in hand. The rest of the mana doesn't look like it's going to do too much damage to us, so... Uh-oh, more mono red. And they went first too, guys, so... If I wait on the Proving Ground, excuse me. If I wait on the Proving Ground... I can actually, have a turn 1 here, which I think is fine. I'm gonna go Hexmage because it's not like a great target for anything that they have anyways, and there's a chance that we see like a Braids off the top or something else that wants to utilize it, and then we still have the Fatal Grudge too, and there's 2 options to choose from. They probably want to go Burn to face to get more damage through with Swift Spear, and then we'll have Fatal Grudge to maybe pick up that Swift Spear and ditch the Hexmage, right? Which could be really good because then we draw a card as well. The main reason to try this is that draw card, man. Just replacing itself while doing our... Oh, yep, there's the burn to face. For a second, the way they were looking at Hexmage, it looked like the burn was going to go to that Hexmage, man. Phoenix Chick, yep. And we take the 3. Yikes, dude, yikes. We already took 6 damage total. More slow land. So we could go Wastes. We'll take 1 if we go Grudge. They discard the... They ditch the Phoenix Chick this time, though. We do draw. Go Wastes into Underdog. At least Underdog can try its dandiest to block the Swift Spear. Better keep a chump blocker back just in case, dude. Oh man, these mono red decks going first is so scary, dude. Even if we successfully block, these new mono red lists can rock the Monstrous Rage. Clear Fire number 2. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. The deck is a little bit too slow for mono red, it looks like. As of right now, right? More testing required, of course, but at this point, if you see a lot of this, we probably need more removal. Alright, no blocks. I mean, we could chump save 2, but is that worth it? No, not really. So... Sorcery speed on the Fatal Grudge holds it back pretty well, too. So we'll have them discard that last card. And we could go Fatal Grudge Scry. It's too bad. We could go Hexmage. It's simple. They do the Phoenix Chick. They still have the Mishra's Foundry to power up, too. Alright, we're going to go for the draw. I feel like we've been seeing a lot of land these last couple games as well, instead of more options. Ooh. Get those land off the top. That's not what you want to see, bro. Oh, no. Oh, no, guy. Well, I'd call this a flood. I would definitely call this a flood. 1, 2, and then 4 in hand, and then 3 on board. Yeah, that's 9 land, dude. All right, I'll just take the damage. It's game, unfortunately, guys. We can't pay the 2 life, right? More land off the top. I don't think we're allowed paying the 2. Oh, no, there we go. We are allowed paying the 2. When are we not? I guess if you can't pay... I guess you can pay it if you have the exact amount. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, good game, opponent. My goodness, dude. 37 minutes in. Okay. I believe in us, man. Let's do this. I still feel like we got so much value packed in. Let's not get the flood, and in the final thoughts, maybe we'll talk about going down some mana, but I think I only have 24 in here, which is pretty normal for a deck like this, I would say. There's a lot we want to do all the time. You need to see the 3 on time. You need to see the 4 on time as well to do multiple things on the same turn, or just to play Sheoldred, so... Oh, opponent goes first again. Hey, for the last game, though, Mosswood Dreadknight making an appearance. Let's do this, dude. Let's do this. And the Pain Land has been particularly bad as well. No, opponent, come back! No! Crap, guys. Oh, I really liked that last hand since we had the Mosswood and everything, and I wanted to give one more shot to Fatal Grudge, too. Guys, I get asked sometimes, why do I leave these games in? Always feel free to skip ahead. We keep chapters at the bottom of the video, timestamps in the description. Always feel free to skip ahead. I keep them in because we don't get too many test draws in these videos. We don't get too many hands in total. And so showcasing that hand, totally worth it, man. I feel like that was a great hand. I think that would have played out nicely. I wonder what ended up happening to the opponent there, because like they were going first too, so. Now see, I'm not, opponent goes first again, okay. I'm not as in love with this hand, but it's still totally fine. Totally fine and dandy. Got that turn 1 with the Restless Cottage. No, mono red, really? Oh no. Hey, there's our Mosswood. Maybe we can get some revenge against mono red. See, the exile on Etching's really bad too. Dude, mono red just might be this deck's nightmare. Ancestral Anger. Oh. Might be a Monstrous Rage style deck then. Oh yeah, dude, we're so dead, aren't we? Tenacious Underdog's gonna get picked up right away, and then if it's burn, it's gonna be exiled. Same thing with the Dreadknight. Maybe it's Questing Druid. Maybe they don't target this and we can get the counters up high enough. Maybe. We're gonna be taking 4 from the swings alone, though. I can imagine it's gonna be some form of burn for that Druid because they don't want it to get buffed, but I think that was still our best chance, right? I think so. You know what? I'm holding on to hope, guys. There's a chance, like Sheoldred, if it comes down right on 4. If it comes down right on 4, there's a small chance. Eee, Strangle. 6 damage down to 10. It's gonna be more. No? Okay, down to 10. Okay, this is only our 3rd turn, guys. Scary business, man. Scary business. Which one would I rather get exiled? Probably the Underdog. Fatal Grudge just being way too slow here. Seeing one of our cutdowns would have been good in some of these games. Play with fire. Okay, they still have 4 on the board. Next turn, Sheoldred comes down. Small chance. Small chance eliminated? Yeah, no, I don't know if we get by Godric depending on what they see. Cut down. You're too late, buddy. You're too late, cut down. We can't cut down Godric, but we can cut down the Phoenix chick. Depending on what they see, maybe we cut down Etching and then Dreadknight can block the Godric. Is that all better than the Sheoldred? Yes, because if we just play Sheoldred, so it's Dreadknight. If we just play Sheoldred, 4 gets through. So it needs to be the cut down. And it depends what they see off the top as to where that cut down lands. Woo! Mono red still looking so scary, dude. They dropped the GGs. Is it lightning strike off the top? No! Well, we tried, guys. We tried. I'll tell you what, man. Those decks went way too fast. Didn't even begin to give a chance to the list, huh? So that's something we got to talk about in the final thoughts here for sure. Okay. Oh, what pack is it? Yay, new pack, Wilds of Eldraine. Let's do this. What do we got? What do we got? Old card. Okay. I don't play older formats, so here we go. Apprentice's Folly. Beautiful. Have to play with that card at some point, right? Gotta play with all the new cards at some point. If you guys have any cool ideas for Apprentice's Folly, let me know. It looks like that was my 3rd one. Nice. Although I'm pretty backed up on suggestions from comments and from the Discord and everything, which reminds me, guys, unfortunately, because I do get so backed up, that means I won't end up getting around to all of them. So that is a great reason to check out that Patreon, right? It's a great way to support the channel. But also, I would call the main appeal just me prioritizing the suggestions, right? We got a patron suggestion channel in the Discord where they can suggest whatever they want, and then I prioritize those suggestions for making deck lists and videos on. So yeah, enough rambling about the Patreon though. I just wanted to bring that up, that whenever a new set comes out especially, I'm super backed up on suggestions, so I just won't be able to get around to all of them. Here's the deck list again, guys. Actually really liked it. It was just way too slow for mono red, and if you're seeing as much mono red as I saw today, drop that Fatal Grudge and go up another cut down. That'll be good. 3 cut downs. Like, the cut down was a turn too late, which makes me very sad, and so having 3 of them, maybe we would have had it in hand in a couple of those mono red matches. Maybe we'd still be in a couple of those mono red matches, right? Outside of that, dude, the synergies packed in here are sweet. I love it. I think that again, I brought it up earlier, but the main thing holding this back is easily the mana base. It's just too bad that we don't have a fancy Golgari early land. It has to be the Pain land, and so the Pain does way too much damage, especially if this is the only black source you end up seeing. Even though, like, do we get unlucky with mana bases sometimes, guys? Let's look here. This is all the black sources in the deck. Okay. Okay, I guess we get a little unlucky sometimes, like seeing only the Llanowar Wastes as our way to play our main color is pretty bad. So I would drop 2 of these and go up the Deathcap Glades if you're seeing that much mono red too. It's just going way too fast, dude. Way too fast. And so doing the pain to your face rather than just playing a tapped land for the turn, yeah, the pain's probably a little bit worse, right? Well, that being said, paying the pain and then actually being able to play a cut down is going to be good too. So for optimization purposes, guys, I would drop that Fatal Grudge regardless down to 3 and go up 3 cut downs. It could still be your choice of spot removal though, but I think you're going to get held up sometimes, I do, on like Go for the Throat and stuff. 24 total land. We flooded a lot for 24 as well. I guess just more testing's required, but this one's a pretty expensive build, so put it on the do not craft list because it felt a little janky in a lot of those games. But if you have the cards, give it a shot for me. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if I ended up getting a little bit unlucky today, because it kind of sort of felt like that a little bit. We just got so much value packed into. Man, I'm sticking by the Grudge, though. I don't want to drop all these. I still think it should technically do a thing here or there, and unfortunately, it just, we really struggled to keep things on the board long enough against mono red, and then by that point, you have to have, like, blockers instead of actually using the Fatal Grudge. The extra draw didn't come in handy because we never actually got to the point of the game where we could successfully play Sheoldred either. It was just way too fast, right? Turn 4 victories from the opponents often that game, right? I think so. Or turn 5 for that matter. We got to like turn 4, then on their turn 5 they wrap up the game. Lord Skitter was awesome. Braids was excellent. Definitely the keystone of the deck. Outside of that, for the suggestion in the comments, hopefully I put together, you know, an all right list for the Mosswood Dreadknight. We'll definitely be revisiting this card in the future, though. See, maybe we can get a more consistent list going for it as well. That being said, maybe this list is more consistent than what we ended up seeing today. I kind of want to play more matches with it. I feel like we just ran out of time so fast, huh? Another thing too, it felt like a lot of our creatures were so necessary to keep on the board, and you know it seemed relatively unnecessary, this Tenacious Underdog. So maybe just more removal will push this deck into more consistent territory, right? If we drop both Tenacious Underdogs and a Fatal Grudge, we have 3 spots open. We go up a Virtue of Persistence. That gives us some life gain and removal against mono red, which could be excellent. That gives us 2 of these, right? And we go up a cut down. That gives us 3 early pieces of removal. That could be excellent. And then we find some form of utility to replace that 1 Fatal Grudge that we're dropping. Maybe even just like a 3rd Royal Treatment, being able to protect more of our creatures, protect Sheoldred when it comes time, protect our very important 3 drops as well could be good. That's what I would do. I think that would up the consistency just a little bit. That's just based on the games that we saw here today. So I would drop 2 Tenacious Underdogs, drop 1 Fatal Grudge, go up a Virtue of Persistence for the sake of that adventure, go up a Cut Down, and go up a Royal Treatment. And I think that would totally work, totally be fine. At that point now we're splashing the red even further, right? But I think the mana base should be more consistent than what we saw today as well. So, I'm up in the air on this one, guys. You'll have to let me know what you thought down in the comments. What would you add or take out? And again, let me know, did we get a little unlucky today? Or is that just how the deck is going to end up playing out regardless, right? So, guys, if you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.